Hey everybody out there, and today for you guys I'm going to be doing a deck profile of a deck that I have loved playing throughout the years, and I've also enjoyed playtesting this deck over the last month or two, getting it ready to profile for you guys, and that deck is Spellbooks. Yes, I have rarity bumped this deck as high as I want to. I've loved playing it throughout the years, love the artwork, love just the deck and how it functions and how it plays. I've done different incarnations throughout the years, but this build has been very unique. I've seen what other people have done with the deck recently. I've talked to friends of mine who have played Spellbooks throughout the years that are really into it. I did not get a chance to talk to my good friend Will about the deck before I profiled it because I haven't seen him recently. But I've really enjoyed playing this deck in all its different incarnations. But without further ado, let's get into the deck profile and talk about the way I've decided to build this deck. So first off, I'm running 2 High Priestess of Prophecy. Now, a lot of people run 3 High Priestess of Prophecy, and that's perfectly fine. The ability to get her out onto the field is fairly easy. But personally, for me, from just the way I'm building the deck and the way the deck's functioning, she is great, she is good, but I just like 2 of her at the moment. If you want to find some space in the deck to run other things, you want to take certain cards out of the deck to run maybe a 3rd Priestess of Prophecy, go right ahead. But as of right now, I like 2 of, just for that reason. Next up, I run 1 Dark Magician of Chaos. Now, some people run the World of Prophecy, and like I said, a majority of my friends have played Spellbooks throughout the years, and we were, as I was playtesting it, because originally I was running a ratio back in October, I was running 3 Priestess of Prophecy, 1 World, and then I tried 2 Priestess of Prophecy in World, and then I switched to DMOC in mid-November-ish, I guess you could say mid-November. And I've sticked with DMOC ever since. And the reason for that is because World of Prophecy is really good. The ability to blow up the field, recurse spellbooks, all this lovely jazz is awesome. However, talking to multiple spellbook players, they said, do not run World. It will not go off most of the time. And as I was playtesting the deck and doing all my different combos, I found out to myself, yeah, that is kind of true. Like, World of Prophecy, I would get its effect off, here and there, but it wasn't. It was usually either the game was already in the bag, or it was a situation coming up where it just would get negated, or something would happen. I just would not get the effect off. And I found that DMOC put in a little bit more work. And so that's why I decided to run DMOC instead. And like I said, I talked to multiple Spellbook players before I did that, because I was running World of Prophecy before I did that, because I was testing it out as I was revisiting the deck since Crowley came out and whatnot. But yeah, this is the ratio I'm running of the big boys. Like I said, you can up Priestess if you want to, but I like DMOC over World. You can run World if you like. But I literally had a bunch of discussions about this with people that have played this deck throughout the years. And we came to a conclusion we like DMOC just a little bit better. But whatever. That's up to you to decide. I'm sorry I had to go on a little bit of a rant and a tangent there. Next up, we run 3 Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. You guys know what this guy does. Pretty straightforward. He's your searcher. He's Little Boy Blue. Great card. Searches everything you need. I'm so happy I have an alt First Ed. Thank you to my friend who gave that to me as a early birthday present, or sold it to me a couple years ago. Next, we run 3 Temperance of Prophecy. Temperance is great. However, I will say it does get negated a lot of the times, I find, unless you have things like Call by the Grave in your hand, which is the reason I've run that in the deck, because you will get negated out the wazoo with this deck, because it has so many opportunities for your opponent to stop your combo plays, stop your plays by just simple negation. But Temperance is still good. You definitely want to run it as a 3 of in the deck still. Still a great card. Next we run a Alistair the Invoke Engine, because I still like running an Invoke Engine in the deck. And overall, I've really enjoyed playing the Invoke Engine in the deck. This is something I've been teching out. I've seen other people do it recently, and when I was revisiting the deck, I was originally running the Crystal Wing version with the Wind Witch engine. And I was thinking to myself, I want a little bit more negation, a little bit more versatility with this deck. So I decided to try the Invoke Engine with the deck, and I've really liked it and enjoyed it, and it's been pretty good, actually. So as of right now, I'm running the Invoke Engine in the deck, not looking back, and I've really enjoyed that version of the deck compared to the Wind Witch engine, which is pretty good, but it works. This card works better with the other card I'm going to show you here in a second. But definitely 3 Alistair the Invoke, because we're running the Invoke engine with the spellbooks. We also run 3 Silent Magician. You guys know this. Ever since I did my first profile of this deck, like 2 years ago, I've been running Silent Spellbook Magician, as well as 1 Silent Magician level 8. If you can't afford these guys, I understand. Last time I checked, these are like $20 a piece. And I run these in a couple Spellbook caster decks. I have actually like a playset, and I have like 2 playsets, I think. I have another playset in one of my other decks, wherever it is. But the main deck I play with this card is in this deck, because it's really good. It gives you negation, it gains a lot of attack. If it dies, you bring level 8 out, and it's just such a good... This is just a good little package, but if you can't afford it, that's fine. You can run other cards in the deck. For example, if I didn't have this package, I would probably run a 2nd Priestess of Prophecy, a High Priestess of Prophecy, and maybe 3 Ash Blossoms if you can't afford these cards. But yeah, definitely I like it in the deck. It gives me negation, and I like this deck playing it as a pseudo control deck, I guess you could say, to some degree. And this has been really amazing to play in the deck. And it's very easy to get out, because if you have Little Boy Blue, you get a search, you tribute to special summon it, and there you go, you got a negation on the field. Next we got 3 Spellbook of Secrets. As I've told the story 1,000 times, I did not pick these up initially for Spellbooks. I picked these initially up for Dark Magician back before Eye of Timaeus came out. many, many moons ago. But a worthwhile investment for first ed ones, I will say that. But now they get to play in the Spellbook deck. But definitely 3 Spellbook of Secrets. Great, great, great card to run in the deck. Helps you search out all your Spellbook needs. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, as you can see, I've rarely bumped this deck over the years. 3 Spellbook of Knowledge, your draw power of the deck. I've seen some people, and I've discussed this with a couple of Spellbook players, of running this card as a 2 of. And personally, while you can get away with that, I definitely say 3 of is still a staple in Eddie's Spellbook deck. But it's something I had a little bit of a discussion on with 1 or 2 people, actually. Next up, we run 2 Spellbook of Power. I'm not shelling out the money to get the high rarity of this, unless somebody wants to gift it to me as a Christmas present or something. But 2 Spellbook of Power. And the deck helps you get over things, reoccur stuff. You guys know what it does. Next, we run 2 Spellbook of the Masters. Some people run 3 of this, some people run 1 of it, some people run 2 of it. As of right now, I like running 2 Spellbook of the Masters, and it's been working out pretty well for me. 3 of I find to be a little bit too much. 2 Spellbook of Fate. Again, it's a ratio that different Spellbook players run at different ratios. Some people run 3 Spellbook of Fate, some people run 2 Spellbook of Fate. Me personally, the card is still good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as powerful as it once was. Back, doing the glory days of Dragon Rulers and pre-Dragon Rulers. But it's still a great card, and I still like it as a 2 of. But 3 of I find to be a little bit too much, perhaps. Even though it's very versatile of a card. But you can definitely run 3 of if you like to. Next, I run 2 Spellbook of Tower. Definitely, I like this as a 2 of. I used to run it as a 1 of. Now I like it as a 2 of because we are running a Magical Meltdown as well. So, great follow-up play. 1 Spellbook of Eternity. Very good card. 1 Spellbook of Wisdom. Still like it. And 1 Spellbook of Life, which is your revive card for the deck. So just spell cards, spellbook cards that are versatile in different situations. Some people run multiple Eternity. I've seen people run 2 of. You could try that out if you want to. I've played around with it, and I'm kind of about it, so to speak. But I like it as a 1 of. Some people prefer it as a 2 of. But it is worth trying out, I feel like. Next we run 2 Magical Meltdown and 2 Invocations. This is part of your, your Invoke archetype. How do I feel about running Meltdown as well as Towers? So far it's been working fine for me. And I really like it. So, yeah, works out pretty well. And 3 Call by the Grave. Now, you can run Ash Blossom, like I said earlier, if you want to, but Call by the Grave, you have to run Call by the Grave in this deck. Or if not that, you have to run Gamma. One or the other. And the reason for that is because you will get Ash Blossom and your plays will stop dead in their track. You will get Effect Veilered. You will get Drilled in Lock. And you're going to cry when that happens. So you want some type of way to stop that from happening. I promise you that. And Call by the Grave is one of the best ways of doing that. Because, if they stop one of your combo plays, you're kind of like going to sit there and go, well, I end my turn. And you don't want that to happen, especially in a spellbook deck. When you're trying to create a board that is good, especially if you're going second. So yeah, I'm going to say that once, and I'll say it again. You got to run Call by the Grave in the deck. You don't have to, I will say that, but I have found that the times that I have not run it in the deck, when I've been playtesting, I just seem to get ashed and drilled, Droll and Lock, and Effect Veilered at the worst times. And I'm like, I wish I had Call by the Grave in the hand. So that's why I run 3 Call by the Grave. Like I said, you could run Gamma. If you want to run more hand traps instead, go right ahead. If you want to side deck your Call by the Graves, go right ahead. But in a deck that does so much searching, so much things, so much searching and drawing and effects, you want to have Call in your hand because it's a combo-oriented deck to some degree. So let's get on to the extra deck. We run our Dark Magician Girl, Field Center. We run 1 Salamangreat Almirage. We run a little bit of a Nightmare Engine here. 2, Phoenix and Cerberus, as well as Unicorn. We also run 1 Borreload. You could run Borreload Savage Dragon. I have run that in the deck at previous times. You don't go for this as much, but the times that I have gone for it recently, I've been finding Borreload has been putting in just a little bit more work than Savage Dragon. But if you want to run Savage Dragon instead, be my guest. I've just, like I said, in the situations that has come up, Borreload Dragon has been a little bit better than Savage Dragon. Just a bit. Because this deck does not OTK. And even though Savage Dragon can help you with that, it's more of a control base, and that's one of the reasons why I like Borreload. That may not make sense to some of you guys, but from playtesting and the time that's come up, like I said, this works out better. Something you don't think I would make a lot, but I do, is Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. You would think you don't make this card a lot, and then you would find out, actually that's incorrect. I do make it somewhat often. Next we run 2 Crowley, the First Prophecy. You could run 1 or 2 of this, it's up to you, but I like it as a 2 of. Next I run 1 Alistair, the Invoke, and then we're going to go over the Invoke cards we run. So first off, 3 Mechaba, double Mechaba, 1 Elysium, I can never pronounce this properly, 1 Purgatrio, 1 Krogatus, I can't pronounce these guys, and 1 Kali Yuga. That's the only one I can pronounce, besides Mechaba. Forgive me. But that's the extra deck that we want, and it works out pretty well. So I just like, 2 Mechaba because it's really nice. This one, if you guys are running how you go for Purgatrio, if you're running Ash Blossom in the deck, you can go for it. But also if your opponent's running Ash Blossom, you can go into Purgatrio. That's how you go into this. Kali Yuga, you go for not a lot, but it's there just in case. And then this is good against Sky Striker as well, if you're able to make it, that is. So yeah, that's just the ratio here, if you guys are wondering how that works out and why I'm running certain ones. But like I said, overall, I really, really, really like playing this deck. It's been super, super fun to play with over the course of the last 3 months almost now. Since late September I started playtesting with it, made some adjustments in November and late October, and I haven't looked back since. And like I said, there's different ways you can play this deck. There's different versions, there's different ratios, but overall, it's such a fun deck, and it can be played in so many different ways nowadays. And hopefully it gets some more support down the road, but overall, I'm very happy with this deck. It's such a fun deck to play. And until next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and go High Priestess of Prophecy. She is Bae, she is love, she is life. Till next time, guys, take care, everybody. I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you.